channel. I've got to rebuild my air compressor again once more. I've been on the phone to Jaguar Land Rover this morning. Be interesting to see how much they charge to do this job, so this is what I thought I'd try and do today. So I'll put that in, I'll include that. I had a conversation with them this morning over to supply and fit a new compressor with a labour cost coming in at about 5 hours to change a compressor. So we're going to do a race against the clock and we'll see how quickly I can strip this down, rebuild my compressor and get it back in again, and see if we can beat Land Rover's time. Not using anything special. I'm going to use my Impact Gun, which they should be using Impact Guns being the main dealership, and a bog standard set of tools. And we are now on 5 to 11. So let's make a start. One thing is always worth checking as well, there's a lot of water in here. This is one of the main problems we have with these cars. We're letting the water in the bottom. That is it. Ow. But that's took me 3 minutes to simply swap that round. They're going to charge you 5 hours. Right, let's take it in. I'll go and rebuild this now. Just come inside now to finish this off. Let's just prise that off now gently. I haven't done one of these for a long time, but I roughly remember what to do. There is the compressor nearly out. The last one I have to do now is that one there. I might be able to get away with doing it without that actually, because it is a race against the clock. That's technically is on the far you need to go. Get one of those and your O-ring in the kit. Making sure you get it the right way. There's a little notch and a gap on there, which is that way round. Get hold of your old piston ring, flick it off, get your new one without breaking it. And it will just fit in there perfectly like that. One new O-ring in here. Small screwdriver to just flick that off. Fit a new one. And that's it done. Gentle with this, not to break anything. Fit that back through there.
line your piston up with this cylinder and push it back in. And if you want to use sealant, use some sealant, but you shouldn't have to. It should just be enough on the original to do that. There you go, and that's it back in. I don't know what time we're on. We are on 12 minutes past 12 and we started at 5 to. Right, back outside now. Complete this. Just remembered I hadn't put my things back on to keep everything out of the way. Not that they really need them, but someone will comment, say, oh, you didn't put them back on. I know, I was rushing. Quickly run back outside. Take these up. On there, everything's in, everything's plugged on, she's in. Alright, just to make it fair, put it back in. Should be on underneath. Jack. What's that took me? 20 minutes? Just take out, strip down, rebuild and put back in a brand new compressor. Well, now a new compressor. So, quickly do a diagnosis on that now, make sure she's working. I'll try and get my keys and we'll see if we can blow the air suspension up. See you in a minute.
And a member of staff will be with you shortly. Your position in the queue is 3.
I think that tells you all you need to know. I've been on the phone for 20 minutes now waiting. Must be a lot of people with broken Range Rovers out there.
Hello, UTT Jaguar, how can I help?
Hello, hi. I'm just ringing up about some servicing work and a bit of work I need doing on my Range Rover.
Okay, let's have a look for you. What's your registration? Okay, sure, let's have a look for you. So we've not seen your car before?
Probably not.
Let's have a look. Right, so your car must have had a private plate on previously, unless this is a private plate. Right, so what I need to do is just find your chassis number. I need to get a couple of details from you, and then I can get that chassis number. Let's just see. Here we go. Can I take your name?
Yeah, it.
Sorry about that. I just need to put all this information in so that it'll let me get to the next screen for your chassis number. So.
Can you not do it off the registration number now?
That's what I'm saying. So basically, most people think like our systems connect with DVLA, but every time someone changes their registration and you try and give us your reg, we're like, no, not recognised.
All right, fair enough.
Don't link to DVLA.
No problem.
So, but once I get to this stage, it does link with DVLA, and then I can see exactly what car it is. So, so this is it's a 2003 Vogue in green. Is that right?
That's the one.
No, I've got it. Let's have a look. Okay. Right, so what have you got going on with the car? What's
Well, I've got an air suspension problem, and I need to get a price on a new compressor, supply and fit, please.
Right, so, okay. I'll see if I can get a price for you, but they won't let me book in for that. They won't let me book in for that at all.
What's that? Sorry, what do you mean?
Just because. So basically, the way that we work as a business, we'll only do repairs on things that we've diagnosed. We will always diagnose a fault before we go ahead and do a fix.
Ah, right, okay.
Just for the simple fact is, we could replace that for you. It doesn't fix your problem, and then you come back and expect us to fix it. I'm not saying that you would personally do that, but this is what happens. So now it's just across the board, basically, unless we've diagnosed it.
Right, I'm with you. So would you just sell me the parts required then?
We would. Yes, we would. We would sell you the parts. Yeah.
But
absolutely.
You won't fit it for me.
In this case, yeah, and it sounds odd, but pretty much, yeah.
Even if I signed something to say I'd take full liability if it wasn't a problem?
From what I believe, yes. So I think that would be a conversation with a service manager, rather than someone like myself.
Right, okay.
What I can do is I can get you through to parts, and at least get a price on that for you.
And roughly, if it was that, I just roughly want a quote really to see how much it would cost to have one fitted.
Yeah. Okay. Right. Just hold the line for me. Let me see if I can get through to parts for you. Okay.
Perfect. Thanks very much. Cheers. Bye now.
All right.
Well, that was an interesting bit of information. Land Rover will not repair anything they haven't diagnosed themselves. Makes sense, but I know the compressor is what's at fault. So it's just interesting to see what they're going to try and sell me, and if they're going to try and make me bring it in. I just want to see how much it's going to cost me. And I'm going to try and quiz them on how long it takes to change a compressor, see what their labour costs are involved.
Hi there, thanks for waiting for me.
No problem.
So for the part, right, they only give me the price without the VAT. So let me just add the VAT on. Right, so just for the part, £1,089.60.
Right, okay.
Now for your car, we'll charge £108.50 per hour. Again, that's not, let me just add the VAT. £108.50. So £130.20 per hour.
All right. Do you have different? Do you have different labour charge costs, do you, depending on what car you're working on?
Depending how old the car is. So labour rates for a brand new car are like 155 plus VAT, 4 to 6 years, 124 plus VAT, and 7 plus, 108.50 plus VAT.
Ah, right, okay. That's interesting. I didn't realise. I thought it would have just been a standard cost across the board.
No.
Ah, right, okay. And how long would... do you know what...
the cheaper end of the scale.
Well, yeah, I get where you're coming from. But if you've got 150 grand for a brand new Range Rover, 150 quid an hour is probably nothing. But...
there's that as well.
Yeah, that's very true. Do you know how long your labour... how long it would take to fit an air compressor?
In all honesty, I don't know. But I would say probably worst case scenario, if it was like, I don't know how easy they are to get out and put in, and then they have to be coded to the car and everything else. So I would say even at a worst case scenario, 5 hours. So if I times that by 5, that's 651 plus 1089. At that, you're looking at 1,740.
Right, okay. Is that
That's if it takes 5 hours.
right? And I'm assuming that's worst case scenario.
Yeah. But bear in mind that's also parts, labour, VAT as well.
Right. That makes sense. That makes sense. So in total, we're talking just over £1,000 for the compressor itself, and then potentially nearly £1,000 to have it fitted as well.
Pretty much.
Is there
It might only take 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? I just don't know. I don't know what the...
Is there anyone there that you could find out how long roughly it would take?
Unfortunately, no. The only thing I can do is email someone and wait for them to come back to me.
Right, okay. Okay, that's not a problem.
That's all I've got.
No, it's fine. That's fine. Obviously, and you would be reluctant to change it anyway without diagnosing it yourself?
Yeah, exactly. Especially something at that price.
Right, I see. So well, I suppose you won't know. How long would it take for you to diagnose it, do you know?
I can answer, right? So we charge £125 diagnostic fee or investigation fee, whatever you want to call it. It covers the first hour of labour. If it's a fault, if it's a simple fault, generally we can rectify it in that hour, and then we go ahead, we do that. And it wouldn't cost you any more than £125. Basically, the second that it starts being, if they think it's going to exceed the 125, then they'll give you a call, have a conversation with you, see what you want to do, and then give you, they'll give you the price then, there and then to fix.
Right, I see.
Or whichever.
I see. That's fine. That's fine. Sorry, I'm sorry to be a pain. Can you just give me the grand total?
You're all right.
Can you just give me the grand total on that so I can just write it down? So parts and labour and potentially a diagnosis charge as well.
Right. Okay. So assuming it's 5 hours labour with the parts and the diagnostic fee, 1,865.
Is that plus VAT or including?
That's including.
Including that, no problem. So I'll just write that down here. 1,865.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate your help there. I will.
You're more than welcome.
I will give you a ring back as soon as I've found out a bit more information.
Yeah.
Perfect. Thanks very much for your call.
Right.
Cheers.
All right. You take care.
Bye now.
Right, well that was an interesting call. Land Rover dealership, my local dealership to me. I won't name who it is because I'm not getting involved with slating any individual dealerships, but you heard it for yourselves. Over £1,000 in parts, up to potentially 5 hours to swap an air compressor on a Range Rover of that age. The different labour costs they charge depending on what vehicles they're working on. So if you've got an expensive one, they're going to hit you for more money. If you've got an older one, they're going to still hit you for a chunk of money, but not as much as they would if you had a brand new one, which to me don't make sense. That technician is on the same wages. That electric is still the same electric. Don't matter what car you're working on. A labour cost should be a labour cost. Our main dealer's ripping you off. I'm not here to say they're ripping you off, but you can decide for yourselves. Up to 5 hours to change an air compressor. Simply swap one out and it needs code into a vehicle. Well, you've seen it there for yourselves. I took one out, stripped it down and put it back in again in 22 minutes or something stupid like that. So less than half an hour to simply pull one out and swap one. If it was like for like, I could have it done in 10 minutes. Our Land Rover dealership's ripping you off. I think it's obvious, isn't it? But I'm not saying they're ripping you off, but it's there for everyone to see. It was just an interesting thing. I had a feeling it was going to be ridiculous amounts of money, but I thought I'd just do a video on that just to show some people that might not be mechanically minded, might not know much about cars, what actually happens when you go to a dealership. I'm not saying all dealerships are the same. There might be good ones and bad ones, but I think it's fair to say that's a lot of money for a job that doesn't take very long. Well, I appreciate you all watching. I hope you enjoyed that little video. Like I say, I'm not slandering any dealerships. I don't want any comebacks from any Range Rover dealerships saying I'm slandering them, because I haven't.
I've not mentioned the dealership who it was I spoke to, but that was a Land Rover dealership that said up to 5 hours and it needs to be coded. Not to knock the lady on the phone, she was very nice and helpful. She might not know all the ins and outs of the technicians and what they do, etc. She's obviously reading off a book or a script of how long on average these things take. But still, if I was a potential customer, not knowing what I was doing, and I took my car in there willingly prepared to spend 5 hours of labour, would they have continued to charge me the 5 hours of labour? Who knows? But I'll tell you one thing for one shot, I won't be taking my car to a dealership. Right, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you all on the next one.